Really excited to have you. You know, I always, I know you wanted to be a basketball player, but kind of like me, like.
Hold on, wait. You did some homework already, right?
Oh yeah. I prepared for.
I love it. Let's go.
So I was in high school, you know, and I wanted to be a basketball player. I had everything set up. I was gonna play for the Lakers, and I was gonna be their starting point guard, and I was gonna play with Kobe. So Kobe, he's a few years older than me. You know, he was a few years older than me, and I watched him play in Long Beach, the Long Beach Pyramid, where he used to play when he was 17 when he got drafted, and I was like 13, I was like 14, he was like turning 18, something like that, and I'm like 4 or 5 years behind him, so we're gonna play with the Lakers, we're gonna win all these championships, but then I wasn't thinking like I can't jump high. I'm short, you know, I'm slow. Like I had everything against me. So I didn't have those natural abilities. But the things that I started working on a lot were my skills, the skill sets that you can improve if you practice a lot. So I knew you wanted to be a basketball player too. Then you ended up becoming a football player. And Ed Milet told me, like he told us both, that they're the two greatest players in the NFL are you and Tom Brady. So you had an unbelievable career, so very, very happy to have you here. But thank you for being here. I have a list of things I want to go over, but thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So I'm going to start with the Hall of Fame. So how was it? I saw your speech that you gave when you got the award and you made the Hall of Fame. Yeah. And it was a very powerful, emotional speech that you had, right? And you talked about how like you had to work really hard for everything, and that a work ethic is very important. And a lot of people here are in real estate and mortgage and solar and all kinds of different industries. And the difference between, I think one of the biggest difference between like myself, yourself, and most people that just remain average is their work ethic. Their work ethic that they don't apply it day in and day out, 7 days a week, every year after year. Because how much you can grow in 1 year is so powerful, so amazing, and most people don't realize like every year you could grow a lot. But talk about work ethic and making the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I believe work ethic is not one of the most important things. To be successful, I think it is the most important thing in being successful. Your work ethic defines the character that you are and the person that you are. And if you find somebody and they lack work ethic, I encourage you either try to get them help or you walk away from them, because you either are born with it, you adopt it from somebody, and you know the person. I always say, I watch my mom, and this sometimes gets me choked up. I watch my mom work 2 and 3 jobs and bust her ass. And I saw hard work. I was like, oh my God, that's hard work. I never want to have to do that. I never want to have to do that. So what do I have to do to get the things in my life, to attain the things so I can be successful and not work baseless jobs for people and make them rich? What do I have to do? And then I developed the work ethic, and I made some decisions early on in my life that really shaped my life, that really helped me, that most people don't make. I'm from New Orleans, born and raised. I decided, because San Diego was where I wanted to live and that it was beautiful and pretty, and I was like, I want to live here the rest of my life. I was like, I didn't care how good the football team was. For me, I was going to outwork whomever it was to do whatever I needed to do. And throughout my life, I've made decisions based on things that surrounded me, things that were going to help me, things that were going to better my family's trajectory in life. And it always surrounded getting the work done. It wasn't around circumventing the work. It wasn't around, okay, let's take the easiest route. Funny story is, after getting drafted out of San Diego State, sitting in the locker room with these guys who went to the Michigans and the USC and the UCLAs, and they talk about their school. And I used to always say to them, glad you guys love your school, But you can go to the school and let the school make you, or you can go make the school. And in reality, you're just another great player out of school, or I am the greatest player out of school. You get to decide what you wanted to do. And I'm gonna tell you, to be the greatest player to play out of school, or to be thought of the greatest athlete to ever play out of school, it requires a lot of hard work. I didn't play with a lot of Hall of Fame players. I didn't have a lot of guys who I played with that got drafted. So what you have to put into things in order for you to be successful, your work ethic is everything. Check it out. Take your temperature. Here's what I'm gonna say. If you're here on a Saturday, you have some remnants of work ethic, all right? If you are here on a Saturday, if you paid to be here on a Saturday, you are a hard worker, all right? Because you're trying to get better. And that's where work ethic kind of kicked in for me, Albert. It's a part of my DNA. It's funny. There's some people here who I work with. They come to my office. We like have a party, and when the party's over, they see me sweeping. They see me doing. I'm like, you don't have to do that. I know, but it's my office.
Yeah, that's powerful. Do you think that the reason why your work ethic was like that, and because for me, I believe it was because of this, because I was brown, Mexican, and I didn't speak English, and I was short, skinny, insecure. Everybody thought I was going to be a nobody. So because I had everything against me, like it kind of made me angry. Like it brought some anger and motivation at the same time to prove them wrong. Like kind of having a chip on your shoulder. So it made me want to work really hard more than everybody and outwork them. I remember painting houses with my dad when I'm 6 years old and asking him, why aren't we in Beverly Hills and Bel Air in these mansions where we paint instead of living in the ghetto? And he told me, it's not for us. That's what he said. It's not for us. But he said, if you work really hard and never quit, then maybe one day it could be for you, for us. So do you feel that because of your size and the rest of the football players being all bigger and stronger and just having natural abilities, you think that made you work super hard? And if it did or if it didn't, how do people that have the natural talent, like how do we keep them motivated and driven? Because I have a lot of talented people that are lazy because they're talented, so they could work less, and they're so good with their skills and closing and sales, so they're lazy. But so I don't know if that makes any sense, but
no, it makes perfectly good sense.
Yeah, like talk about like what was it that pushed you, and how do you push now people that you see and you're like, man, if I had your strength and body and all your abilities, I would have been 10 times better. But you guys have it all, but you don't work hard. You're lazy.
Yeah, laziness is it's a disease. Let's call it what it is. And when you get infected with it, you have to be vaccinated. Someone has to show you what it looks like to not be lazy, and then they actually have to make you believe that you are, because nobody that's lazy think that they're lazy. Lazy people, talented people that are lazy, they don't think that they're lazy. Here's what they think: I'm gonna do it when I want to. I'm gonna do it how I want to. I'm gonna do it when I'm ready. And they always think they got time. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get to it. That's what they do. And so for me, when people ask me, well, why did you do it? Well, pretty simple. I wanted something different. When you grow up poor in a ghetto and you realize that there's other options, those other damn options look better. It's better. And just because the person who have the things that you want didn't do much to get them, maybe they inherited it, they were born into it, it was a generational thing, or maybe they got lucky. That doesn't mean that's going to happen for you or to you. If you want something to be different, then guess what? You have to do something different. You cannot, with the resources and the lack thereof, think that you can continue to do the same thing and get a different result. It doesn't work that way. Life just doesn't work that way. You have to change some things about yourself if you want some things to happen for you.
And you say something that you can apply to business as well. You said you didn't want to be the best running back.
No.
You wanted to be the best football player.
Oh yeah, yeah. I never. I mean, one of the just if you don't really know me, one of the things about me playing football was I never looked at myself. I never allowed them to put me in a box. They wanted to say I was a good third down back or I was a good running back. I was like, no, I'm the best football player on the field. I just happen to play running back. If you need me to do some other stuff, I can do those things. And what does that doesn't mean I'm the biggest, I'm the fastest, I'm the strongest. But of all the things that all the awards that I've ever won and all the accolades that I've ever been given, one of the accolades that because I don't talk about the rest of them, but the one that really mattered to me was one day I was on the cover of Sports Illustrated and they said, he's the smartest player in the NFL. I was like, that, my friend, is what I want to be. I want to be looked at as an intellect because it's something that you can continue to grow. It's not like, let's say when you're fast, someday you'll be slow. When you're an intellect, you'll always be an intellect. And that's something that I prided myself on, making sure that regardless who was in a room, regardless of who I was playing against, regardless of what was going on, I can make a physical error, but I am not going to make a mental error. And if I do, it's only going to happen. You can only trick me once. You can only trick me once. And once I filed it away, that was it. And those are the kind of things that I prided myself on, that I looked at and said, okay, I'm gonna put the work in and I'm gonna work hard. And yes, I have to lift weights and I have to run. I need to be faster, stronger, bigger, but I'm gonna also study and I'm gonna watch film. And I'm gonna watch film and I'm gonna do all of these things when the coaches are not watching, because that's when the discipline kicks in. That's when you realize where your work ethic is. It's when people aren't telling you to do it, you decide to do it then. When there's a meeting and you have a meeting before the meeting and after the meeting to make sure that the meeting went right, that's when you're doing the stuff in order to get to the next level. And these things, it's not just, I want you guys to know, it doesn't just work in football. Sports and life and business, they're the same. A lot of the same things, and for players, a lot of players who get into business and fail, it's because they get into business expecting for things to go the same way it did in sports without putting the same work they put into sports into business. Every business that I've ever started, I started from zero and learned everything that I needed to learn in order to get better. Because that's how I started in football. And that's how I got successful. So I don't try to take my accolades from other things into other endeavors and think that I'm gonna start from here. I'm doing the business a disservice or whatever I'm doing, because I can't help the people at ground zero if I don't start at ground zero. My foundation will be shaky. So I was always willing to, and this is the hard thing, my identity is everything. I was okay with starting from zero and having my identity in whatever endeavor be zero, to learn, to get better, so then the people that I work with, they respect me for what I've done in this industry, not in another industry.
Marshall, what do you mean when you say the way you do one thing is the way you do everything?
It's a very cliche saying, in a sense that what I put into being successful, I use those formulas for everything that I do. I give the amount of attention to detail, the respect to it, the type of people that I want to work with, how I set myself up to achieve the goals, to setting the goals, to refocusing when I hit a goal, to set a new goal, to continue the drive that's necessary in order to be successful. I think that there's a lot of us in this room, and I must tell you, at a younger age, I was one of those guys. Things that you like, you do a conviction, and you do them. I mean, with everything that you have. Things that you don't like, you just get those things done. So therefore, your weaknesses remain weak, and your strengths are just your strengths. You're not getting better. You're just existing. The way to get better is you attack the weaknesses with the same conviction that you attack your strengths. The same things that you love doing and how you do them is the way that you do the things that you don't like doing. You have to start telling yourself, and I play games with myself. I literally start to tell myself I like things I don't like.
I do that.
I play games with you got to play trick. Your mind is the most powerful muscle that you have. And it forces you to do something. When you're working out and you decide like you're done, if your mind decides that you're done before your body responds.
You know, my favorite one is life. I say life is easy, but I'm trying to trick my mind.
That's it.
Yeah. I have a 8-year-old running back that wants
Nice.
to ask you a question. Yeah, he's a running back. He scores touchdowns like every game.
Be a football player.
Troy, you want to ask him something?
Man, I couldn't imagine being 8, asking someone like me a question. Being in a room full of winners, this is awesome.
What's your question, Troy?
It's okay. What was it?
8-year-old running back.
8-year-old running back. First advice, don't just be a running back, be a football player. You might end up being a wide receiver, quarterback, kicker, punter, but you still get the opportunity to what your dream should be is to play in the NFL. That's first thing. Second thing is love the game because the game will not love you back. It's a very hard game. It's a very hard game. The mentality of football, and I want you guys to think, in order to be successful in football, you have to be a little mental, a little crazy because the analogy is, hey, give me the football. They're going to hit me, tackle me, knock me down to the ground. I'm going to get up and say, give it to me again, coach. Give it to me again, coach. They just hit me as hard as they could, knock me down, maybe knock me back, I'm concussed, but I want to get back in the game and play. So it is a game that you have to love because if you do not love it, it will not bring you the things that you want in life.
So get beat up and then get beat up more.
Yeah.
Be crazy. How many crazies in here? Anybody crazy? You got to be a little off though to do big things in business and sports.
Well, everything in life makes sense. When you look at TV and you listen to people, they make things make sense. And I don't think being successful makes sense. You have to do some things that don't make sense because if it made sense, everybody would be successful. All right? Like if the things that you have to do to be successful, if it made sense, we'd all be successful. It's easy. So why would you have to do some things, go beyond? Oh my God, I had to go to a driven 9. You got to do some things different. Like everybody that want to be successful, they're not here. So you have to understand that success ain't for everybody. And you start to realize that because everybody is not willing to do different things in order to get to success.
And I also like what you say about live life. Don't let life live you.
One of my favorite things. And I'm gonna speak to a lot of you because you guys, and maybe you've changed, but a lot of people in this room, you stop dreaming. You're just working. You don't have a dream. And here's what it sounds like. I'm doing this for my mom. I'm doing this for my kids. I'm doing this for my husband. Like, you start doing stuff for other people instead of for you. But back in the day, back in your day, what did you want to be? Was it a teacher? Was it your favorite counselor? Was it the lady next door who wore the cute little hat? She was an accountant. Like, we all had dreams of being something, and then life started lifing. And guess what you do? You forget about your dreams. When you forget about your dreams, you stop living life. Life is about chasing the dreams, having those big dreams. I want you guys to know that I was 14 years old, living in New Orleans, selling popcorn in the Louisiana Superdome, and that's all I knew was I was going to play in the NFL. Didn't know how. Selling popcorn. I'd sell popcorn the whole first half and make my money and then watch the game the second half because I couldn't afford a ticket, but I could afford my rack to hold my popcorn on. And so the dream starts somewhere. And what I started to do was realize that this dream, like this dream of chasing football would afford me to go to college. Like, hold on, wait, they give scholarships? Like, to play football? And I started to figure this stuff out, but it all started with just my love for the game and me wanting to play football. So these dreams that you have, you got to get your dreams back. You got to stop living your life through someone else's dreams and start dreaming again, because where your ability to chase those dreams will take you, not having dreams will never. It's okay to have big dreams. It's okay one day I'm gonna be a billionaire. You know what? If you get to 1 million or 500,000, without that dream, you probably would not have gotten there. It's okay. It's not crazy. Like, I don't know how you guys feel, but like, I think Elon Musk just wanted to build an electric car, and he felt like he was going to be what he was going to be. I think Bill Gates wanted, and it was a little dream, and then it turned into some monster. It's major. It starts from a dream. This is where these things are birthed. This was a dream of his, to have this, wanting to give back. You have to get back to dreaming, because in those dreams, you get to go out and live life and chase your dreams instead of life living you, to where you're doing things just to survive. You're working, making just enough money to pay bills to where you can't even enjoy it, to where you don't even know. If I ask you right now, like, hey, when are you going to retire? You're like, what? Your idea may be, because I know what I was watching my parents do was they were going to work and then die. Right. They weren't going to retire and go off into the sunset and sip drinks out of a little coconut on a beach somewhere. They didn't have that. That wasn't, they were just trying to get us out of the damn house, trying to get us out of the house so they didn't have to take care of us anymore. But my dream took care of I got to retire my mother. And so, thank you. Your dream can really, really change someone else's life in your family. Your dream. That's how big dreams are. And living your life is you going out, doing all the things all the things right now that you have to do, so later in life you get to do all the things that you want to do.
Marshall, how important is your team versus individual talent? And I'm going to go back to your speech that you gave when you got the big award and you entered the Hall of Fame. You brought up your team. You got emotional. You got teary a little bit. You brought up like your mom. You brought up your family and the people that were with you, the believers, everybody, your fans, and you were thanking everybody. Like everybody had something to do with your success in a way. So why that? And what's how important is your team versus individual talent?
Yeah, so team is everything. And one of the things that I had to learn as a young guy, one of the most important things you have to learn is how to lead. And first you learn how to lead yourself. All right? And I learned how to lead myself at an early age. And then when I learned how to lead myself, it was like, okay, then you learn how to lead others. When you learn how to lead others, it's become having a team. You figure out the things that you need to do because all eyes are on you. People are watching. When they're watching, you don't have to worry about what you do if, when they're not watching, you do the things you're supposed to do. You do the things that you say you're going to do. So when they're watching, it's just you being you. But when I really figured it out was leading me was one thing, leading others was another thing, but leading leaders is a whole nother world. All right? And when you get on a team, and I want you guys to think about this, on an NFL team, the very worst player on an NFL team was the best player on a team somewhere. Like the kicker, the punter, the guy who snapped the ball. In high school or in college, he was one of the better players on his team. And leading yourself is one thing, and leading others is another thing, but leading leaders, understanding the concept of team, and that every person is a leader of themselves. And you have to convince them that this one goal, that this shiny trophy that you see, is what they're chasing and what they want. I think any one person in here, you can be successful. And this is what I love about Albert. Albert can be successful. And if that's enough in life, that's actually good. But how many other people can you help to be successful? Now you're doing something. And his idea is for every person in here, when you leave, that you figure out a way that you can be more successful. And if you've reached your potential, it's time to help other people reach theirs. That's what team is about. It's not about leading, it's not about following. It's about making sure that people get to reach their goals, reach their dreams, do the things that they never thought that they can do because you as a leader on a team, you believed in them. You identified something in them. A lot of sports, if you think about it, all right, I'm going to take you guys. Think about in golf, Tiger Woods by himself. He doesn't need a team. Serena Williams by herself. She doesn't need a team. In baseball, a pitcher can throw a no-hitter. Doesn't really need a team. In basketball, Kobe, LeBron, they can like get the ball, come down court, shoot, make a basket. In the game of football, no one player without those other 10 guys can help a team do crap. You need a team. I am up here because I led some men to do some things that they never thought that they could do, and that affords me the opportunity to be who I am. Without them, I am nothing. Without my family, I am nothing. Without my high school coach, my college coaches, I am nothing. Having a team, being a part of a team, being on a team is, I'm going to say for me, one of the things that I love about sports, about business, and about people is being on a team.
Two last things here. Two last questions before we let you go, Marshall. So, and we get into the whole financial and business part. You mentioned, and everybody here is here because they want to learn. They want to learn. They want to get better. Now, whether everybody goes out and they do the work,
They want to learn or they want to earn.
they want to learn and earn. But
There we go.
But whether they go out and do the work, that's another story. Because a lot of people come in here, they get pumped up, and then they go home back to the same stuff. But they're here, they want to learn. So let's give the benefit of the doubt to that. Now, you've said before, you say it a lot, that people don't know what they don't know. So like, how do you teach young people and old people? You know, because there's older people, and there's 18, 19, 20-year-olds. There's people that are 40, 50, 60, you know, and some of them, they might feel like, man, it's already too late for me to start. Like, I already messed it up. And the young people, like, they feel like they have so much time, but they don't take action. They're lazy. So two different types, older, the younger. Is it too late to start if you're too old? Like, what's your input on that? And then how do you teach them what they don't know?
Man, there's a lot packaged there. First of all, you don't know what you don't know. And that slogan came from old coach of mine. His name was Ted Marchabroda. May he rest in peace. And we sat in a meeting and we watched film. And he was showing me film of a guy who I look up to, and throughout my career we talked. He was showing me film of Thurman Thomas, and I kept asking him questions. And in one of my questions, he felt that, and I know this now, the answer was in the film, but I wanted to know the answer before we got to it. And he looked at me and he turned around and he said, you know, you don't know what you don't know. And I totally missed it. But as I got older, I realized what he was telling me and what it really means. And what I had to do was I had to then become competent in learning who I was and what I did not know. And a lot of us, we sit here, you know what you know, but you don't know what you don't know. And you can't be afraid to let us know that you don't know, because that's the quickest way to become educated about something. So whether you're old or young, the first thing that the person has to kind of give up is, I don't know that. And now that I'm comfortable enough, I'm okay with being in a room. If everybody raised their hand that they knew something, I would not raise my hand just to be a part of it. I would literally say, I have no idea what you are talking about. Because right then and there, I'm learning something. I'm about to learn something. And we're not comfortable with that. We're not comfortable with things that we don't know. And that's why the saying of you don't know what you don't know is it has the meaning that it has. If I ever encounter someone who doesn't know something, I don't know until they tell me that they don't know.
What about the people that think they know everything, but they don't know anything? They have the answer to everything, but they're not doing anything in life.
I can't help that person. You can't help a person who knows everything. That's literally the only thing I can do to a person who knows everything is just listen to them, and hopefully I learn something from them about never wanting to be the person in the room who knows everything. That is impossible to know everything. But if you think you know everything, then you should be doing all the talking. And I want to listen and learn. And I'm okay with that. But you can't help a person who knows everything. You cannot. Like the person who you can help is the person who asks for help. And asking for help sounds like this: I don't know.
Yeah, and then one loaded question here about God. Like what is God in your life? What role has God played in your life? Are you a big believer in God? And then the second part is, I feel you're blessed and you're
I am
lucky,
blessed.
and you're lucky. Like you've gotten lucky a lot of times. But I think you create your own luck by never quitting and just work ethic, 10 years, 20 years, and 30 years of just you luck is going to happen. But how important has and God has watched me a lot of times. Like there's been times when I had a gun here, and for some God thing, they didn't shoot me. There was a time where my mom fell off the pyramid in Mexico, and she's 73 years old, and she hit her head. Like it was nasty. Like she was actually dead. Her tongue was out, and this was like a year ago. And for some miraculous God energy, she survived and she snapped back into it. She like woke up again. So how important has God been in your life, and why do you feel like blessed and lucky?
Well, I don't know why I feel blessed and lucky. I just know that I am. I know that I'm blessed. And for the sake of whatever religion you may be, anytime I speak in an arena like this, I speak of a higher power, just so we understand what we're talking about and we don't get into the semantics of religion because it's too divisive when we go there. So in the speak of the higher power, just imagine if we were it, us as humans, and we got to dissolve, we got to make all the decisions and stuff like that. I mean, we can barely decide who we want to do things or when we want to do things, what we want. So there has to be a higher power. There has to be something greater than us that wakes us up, that allows us to sleep, that taps us on the shoulder and decides our faith. There has to be. Now, in saying that, I believe that higher power, because of how I live my life, and man, I wish I could say that every time I was communicating with the higher power, that I did the things I said I was going to do, how I was going to do them, at the rate I was going to do them. But every time I'm forgiven for when I don't. And not only am I forgiven, but I think the other part is I forgive me. I allow myself and I give myself room to not be the perfect person, because I'm not. We are human, which that means we are going to make errors. AI is trying to perfect us, but we are humans. We are going to make errors. And understand that living life is to make mistakes, learn from those mistakes, and get better. And don't worry about you judging you or anybody else judging you, because the higher power is the only judgment that you're going to deal with throughout your life. As long as you are living your life the way you want to live your life and not allowing someone to tell you how to live it, then the blessings of life continues to come into your life as they do.
Last question here. So, how has your transition been from a Hall of Famer to now life after that? Now business. I don't want to say how many restaurants you have and how many businesses you have. I do want to touch on after you answer about our partnership with WFG, and how we're helping a lot of people in the financial area. And if anybody here is interested in being part of that, like Marshall and myself, and a few other people have partnered up with WFG, so we're going to be helping people in the financial industry. But how has business been, business life? I know you've been really successful, and most NFL players, NBA players, they end up broke after they retire because they don't have that exit plan, right?
Right.
So how is it for you now? Like
It's been great. I'm probably having the best time of my life, in the sense that about, I don't know, 6-7 years ago, I got introduced into the financial world, and I didn't know what I didn't know. I'm a business marketing major, pretty damn smart. As you guys know, I'm an intellect, and I love that about myself, in the sense that I'm always trying to acquire information. I want to be sharp. I want to be smart. I want to know more. I want to learn more. I didn't really know how my money was working for me, and it sounds funny, but the reality is we work hard for the money, we save the money, but we have no idea how the money is working for us. And that, when I sat down with an individual, the funny part is she's in the room. She sat me down and she said some things to me, and I was just like, I was dumbfounded that I did not know these basic things about money. And right then and there, instead of taking offense, instead of being upset, I put my thinking cap on and I wanted to learn. And my businesses have been at an all-time high since I've acquired the information and education about money. And I want you to know something. Everybody in here, I know you want to be wealthy, you want to have all this money, but the knowledge about the money is better than the money. Like that information about it, it's unbelievable how powerful it is having that information. And I never thought that I would be in this industry. I never thought the financial sector was something. It's not sexy. It's not attractive. It's not the best thing in the world. But when I understood the difference I can make, the amount of people that I can touch with it, teaching it, educating people about it. Sad part about our country, I think we only have about 28 states that require one financial course for kids in high school. So we're being bred to be employees and not entrepreneurs. And these companies, they're being built off of what we're being taught. You're not just ending up at McDonald's or Walmart or these big companies that when you get ready to retire, you realize you don't have enough. It's systematically a thing. So financial literacy is a big, big role. It plays a huge role. Right now, I get the opportunity to sit down and I work at a university, Colorado University, University of Colorado, and I'm not just teaching kids about football. I'm teaching kids about life, teaching them about money. We get to have conversations about what's next. And I think that when you realize that knowledge is power, but applied knowledge is more powerful. That is one of the most important things. But what we're about to do and how we're going to do it, the education aspect of it, it's something that you cannot unlearn this stuff. You cannot unlearn it. And when you realize that you don't know it, you swear someone's speaking a different language to you. It's like, what language is that? But it's very important to me. It's important to Albert, and the level of education that's necessary in order for you to become, just think about this. You have money and you don't have an idea of your own money. I spent many a years with financial advisors telling me about the bottom line, but not telling me what was in between the lines. And it's a scary place to be, and you don't have to be there.
So if anybody here wants to work very closely with myself, with Marshall, be in the right room because of Ed Milet, Ed Milet, Dave Meltzer is also part of it. We have Hannah over there. Can you raise your hand, Hannah? Hannah over there. So we're creating a powerful group. So if anybody here in the insurance, financial space, you want to be part of us, you want to work with us, send us a DM. Whether you just DM Hannah, Marshall, myself, just send us a DM, Driven Insurance. Driven Insurance, and then anybody that is ready to join, we'll help you out. We'll connect. We'll work together, and give it up for Marshall Faulk.
Thank you.